Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Itze. Oh, I don't need the headphones actually. Um, I'm flabbergasted. Welcome. We'll have the TWCOC, that's short for Taiwan Carcassonne Online Championship. It's the quarterfinal between 0607 and Alvis1112. I guess both of these might be birthdays. So Alvis is a newcomer. I don't know next. No, I don't know anything about them. Um, Looks like they play decent Carcassonne. 06, 07 late for Taiwan in the latest Asian Cup edition and played pretty well. I think he was able to beat Pakshi 2-0, maybe even. So I'd consider them the favorite, even though the ELO ratings are more or less on par. Let's check if Alvis is online, and they are. The game has already started. So here we go. Standard opening. Oh yeah, looks like Alvis knows their stuff, breaking the easy loop. So not allowing 4 easy points for 06, 07 and continuations with roses, rotoritos, or daggers, something like that, playing more efficient, using the road and a city piece somewhere. So this could be an interesting match. At least I hope it will become one. First monastery by Alvis. Nice spot, 5 points. Leaves the road in the open, and this one is snatched by 06, 07 immediately. So let's test something here. Yay, it finally works. So this feature of highlighting specific chat comments was the one I missed yesterday when Otto chimed in quite a lot. So if any of you have something to say, have at it, and you might get featured. Not just by me telling what you said in the chat, but by showing your chat message on screen as well. Next monastery, slight annoyance for Yellow's Road, and creating a third monastery spot for blue with 4 monasteries to go. That's more or less a safe bet. 06, 07 tries to harass Blues City, but they don't mind. Just continue with the dagger, because looks like they didn't like this here at the bottom. Else there really wasn't any good spot for it, I guess. Yeah, they used this 6-point monastery spot just to prevent yellow doing the same later in the game. So this more or less looks like, oh man, 4th monastery. I wanted to say looks like more or less foregone conclusion here that blue is running away with this, but there's still this city here, and yellow has all the meeple power in the world to attack it from 2 directions and take it over. but they opt for this move, trying to kill this square and with it these two monasteries, instead of playing it safe by attacking Blue City. Now it gets tricky for them. They can't do anything about it right now. Only road ends over here with a few road pieces already gone. So it's more or less likely Blue might survive this and close the city sometime soon, but not with a road to Rito, of course. That's a nice use of the road to Rito, creating a small road to take to the crossroad, for example, and leaving the city piece in the open to use it later once they maybe get a cap for this spot. Interesting move by Blue here, attacking Yellow City. And main event, of course, preventing any blockage of their monasteries. So still 4 pieces left over here, 2 splitters and 2 extenders. Yep, and Yellow wasn't able to draw any city plus road piece, or any road piece for that matter, to attack or at least harass Blue City. So Blue was able to close it. Right now, plus 26. And Yellow has to think strategically here. So they have the meeple majority, and unless this situation over here is resolved quickly, they will have the meeple majority for the long term as well. So closing the road somehow, meepling the farm, that's actually very welcome. Whoa. Yeah, Blue prevents this idea by going on the farm pretty early with only 1 meeple in hand. That's not without risk. So if Yellow wants to win this one here, they for sure will have to take over the farm and not just tie it, but win it outright. Else they need multiple silver bullets. And with 5 monastery already gone and quite a lot of big pieces as well, don't see many silver bullets left. So one option could be, of course, to close the city over here, then take this field, attack here, then meeple a field up top to attack one of these 2 routes here. Yeah, tough situation for them. Maybe they'd even consider this option here and then trying to kill this one, but there's still a Dorito and 2 roses available, so actually no good. And closing Blue's monastery just to prevent Blue closing their city wasn't the best move as well. Meanwhile, Yellow went over there to protect their city, because there's no starting tile left, so any curve over here would have killed this square. Of course, they added a farmer, hoping to draw a curvy piece before blue gets a straight or anything else to limit this square to a crossroad. Because it's definitely in yellow's interest to connect their field with blue's field over here. And then take it over. There are more than enough options to do so. But it looks like blue is getting all the pieces they need. Yellow with an indirect protection of their city square. Liberating blue's monastery, but at least adding the road end to their road and opening another 5-point road. But now getting their city blocked. And Elvis more or less has nothing to do with this cow. Maybe just adding this at the bottom, because over here there are only the extenders left. Splitters are gone, so it has really no need to add a cap here, or wait to be able to add a cap. So just in case he doesn't get any extender, he could use this here to create a larger ruin. The only downside is that this square was a tad more vulnerable after this move, although this over here was more than enough to kill it for good, because as I mentioned earlier, there are no starting tiles left. Yellow able to close their loop road for 8 points, excuse me, and creating a larger tide field worth 15 points now. Quite likely this square or maybe this square will be filled later to add blue's second farmer to the shared field. And that's a big problem for yellow, because they are way behind, and even if they manage to take the field, it might just not be enough. Yep. Blue running away and away and away. 6-point road, monastery closed, fields united. Lead extended to 54 points. Holy moly. So these are 6 cities. So 18 points times 2 is 36. Even if yellow were able to add 2 farmers to take this field over, they'd still be at minus 18. But it doesn't matter. The game isn't over yet, so let's hope they find a way to fight. One option with this here is an attack like this, hoping to connect with a straight curve, crossroad. What else? Dagger would work as well. And let's say they'd use a road. They would create a second option over here. And looks like they found this move. But blue only has to play conservatively here. For example, something like this would work. Creating this square to use later with the roses. Their idea is more or less the same, except that it doesn't create a second option or platform to block the connection square, so arguably the better option. Yellow connects at the top, so right now it's 2 yellow farmers versus 3 blue farmers. And this here is the dagger. That's the death knell for yellow. There's no way in hell they'd come back in this game. So excuse me for a moment, please. Yeah, tough spot. Not just in this game, but in this match. Losing like this, yeah, it's pretty annoying. It might be problem for the mind as well. And I think one of the crucial decisions by yellow was this Dorito over here, which they didn't use to attack blue's 14-point city up top. And then blue was able to run away with it. Of course, all these monasteries were nice as well. But if your opponent gets all these monasteries, you should be able to take the field, and yellow wasn't, or maybe they didn't act early enough. Also crucial was this farmer by blue. It was their penultimate meeple in hand. All 4 monasteries were occupied at this point in time, and it was a pretty decisive farmer. As it turns out, not as risky as I had thought from first sight. Yeah, yellow protects their connection. Still 1 vanilla cap left to connect. There's also this way here, and considering they are 61 points behind right now, they need all the points they can get. So closing this one with the cap and then connecting over here would be pretty nice. But blue, looky here, found a way to prevent this exact move. Of course, meeples this way, meeples the city, just not leaving any scraps for yellow to take. So I wouldn't call it a masterclass, but it's definitely a clinic how to play once you are ahead. Just take away all the features your opponent could use to score big, like this attack here. Yellow wasn't even able to add anything to their monastery. I think It was placed as a 5-point monastery, and it might stay that way. Yeah. Surgically, blue closing their city, adding a farmer just as precaution or protection. Okay, this one is dead, but the other one is still alive. Another protection against further field attacks by yellow. And now it's pretty tricky for yellow to even get a chance to attack. Actually, there is none available. Not even over here or there. Because the deck lacks pieces to attack there. No curves left. So let's hope that 0607 finds their mojo in game 2 and is able to mount a comeback and force a decider. Else this might be a pretty quick stream. While I'm at it, just for those guys who don't stick around till the end, later today, a pretty nice matchup. Pavel Brin versus Smile in UT. No, not UT. In UCOC's first quarterfinal. So the U is for Ukraine. It's in, what is it? 2.5 hours time, 17 UTC. Yep, blue even connected up top, taking over the field again. Precise. Whoa, that must hurt. Let's see if 0607 will take a break just to calm down a bit, maybe. Okay, while they are not starting. No, that's the wrong Alvis. Let's check if they have anything to say about themselves. They don't, but looks like they have started the game. Or at least are about to. Nope. 0607 with the first 4 points. Of course, city attack now. First monastery goes to Alvis. Nice spot. Looks like a field in the making. And yellow is reluctant to create a new city up top, fearing an attack of blue to take over this city and creating 12 or 14 points even. But anything else isn't better. Oh, Hmm, that's an idea, but I don't think this farmer is really that great. And adding a city cap next to your opponent's monastery for them to have first dibs at it, I don't think that's the best way. I'd rather risk this attack and have this city cap for myself, just in case I'd get a vertical splitter or an extender on my next turn. That would be a nice continuation. So something like this here. And with 60 tiles to go and 6 of these pieces still in a deck, chances weren't that slim to draw one of them. Yeah, blue does what they have to do. Takes the chance of yellow away. Adds a farmer, runs away with this city by extending it now. Natural move. I don't know what they are thinking about. I hope they don't consider adding a farmer here. Yeah. Maybe they were occupied by something happening over there. Yeah, this farmer is definitely okay, but supplying the road and I don't like it. Uh, Blue securing this road just to prevent yellow from running away with a 6-point loop road while closing their city. And looky here, they would have done or threatened exactly that. And now they have to think whether to use this spot and just take 2 points, or maybe use this option to either attack or block this road. Right now, this blue farmer is on their own, and unless yellow does anything to connect, it might even stay that way. Unless blue opts to attack the field again, but I think they might just be waiting to use this option later. This here is too risky, and this needs more pieces as well. So maybe if yellow closes their city, blue will jump at the chance and attack on the right side. Why? This does nothing. It gives you a meeple back, yeah, sure. But is it really that useful to have 4 to 5 meeples instead of 3 to 4? I don't know. I think there should have been other options, like taking this road, for example. Because as it stands now, blue is leading in this game with 16 points, and that's even though yellow owns a 12-point field versus blue's 6-point field. Yeah, that's more like it. And that's just a tough draw. Getting a prime piece like this on your field, sure, you take the city cap, but then your opponent gets the big tile to harass you. Good news for yellow, though, there are still 4 vanilla caps left and uh, 2 Doritos, none of the splitters, both are gone. So 6 pieces to continue over here. And maybe create a bigger city. The first one goes to blue. They take the cap away as they should. Yellow tries to harass blue city, but the problem is all cows and all starting tiles are still available, so they could do what they want about it. There is no block or useful block available right now. Best option might be to try to limit this square to the last remaining dagger later on. Because blue's problem is that both of these squares are limited, so it looks to me like they'd rather like to continue with Doritos over here. Meanwhile, blue gets the second vanilla out of 4. Tries to harass yellow city. So just in case yellow gets the road Dorito, they can't just extend their city and close it. Yellow taking 3 points over the monastery when there's a prime spot which would open up your field to the top available. Yeah, there would be this road for blue to take, but still 4 monasteries in the deck, and at this score, I think a bit more risk would suit them well. Yeah, blue is a bit antsy. Uses the starting tile over here, risking an immediate block, and now we have our first critical tile for this game, and that's the last remaining right-handed dagger, which blue needs here to close this city, which would also connect their field to yellows. Yellow thinking about this square because there's now only 1 starting tile left and 2 roses. So I guess if blue gets their hands on the road Dorito, they wouldn't think twice about killing this square while extending their road. So yellow could even use this here to at least prevent road Doritos and horses being used over here to block their city. Instead, they opt to harass this city and kill it for good, while also creating an option to connect here. And now this will be dead in an instant. Yeah, by the way, excuse me. Me sipping on tea is an indication that I definitely need co-hosts as to not strain my voice. This quarterfinal later will be a best of 5, so I still hope that I get someone on stream, even though it's unlikely as of now. Yellow with a measly protection. In this case, it might have been even better to add it to blue's city part here, just so that blue can't use Doritos like this and would be forced to use it this way, and just so that yellow could attack the road if it might be necessary later. But this, of course, would have been nice with a starting tile. Of course, it would also block this one here to the dagger. About the dagger, let's remove it. Although it's still critical, but now for this space, which yellow will save now, or should save now. Taking 2 points, why not? And if the orientation is in question, with all straights gone, it's not really that crucial to not leave this square hanging for 4-point road. Maybe they consider this move because there aren't that many crossroads still in the deck. Just one regular one and one rose. So blue could limit this square, but I'd say this here takes precedence. What? Okay, so maybe they feared this field attack, or rather on another piece over here or there. But I don't see why you don't take the 2 points here. I mean, this city is still alive. And connecting Blue's meeple to your parts of it would at least net you a few points here. So why not threaten the city's completion? So cow here, rose there, another city cap here, and of course the dagger would work nicely. Next chance for yellow. Now this option is more interesting than before because it's the penultimate crossroad. And the rose might be useful elsewhere, and still they don't go here. If anyone watching has any more explanations or ideas, please chime in. And 0607, if you might watch this later on, please comment. Yeah, nice. If you notice any bass, it's the lawnmower over there. Hmm. So 0607 is at -13. Definitely need to connect here to take away these 6 points from blue. This here is definitely crucial as well. Maybe adding more city caps here, there maybe would be a nice idea. And this one might be high risk for blue, so they opt against it, not using the horse here, because then they'd set up a big ruin for yellow to take, even though they would be able, or quite likely would be able, to limit the connecting square to one piece. Given that there's the quadruple city left and one each of how and horse. Yeah, cow and horse. So yellow finally connects the two fields. I missed the dagger. Oh, no, it's in yellow's hands. So now that this is a ruin, because this square is dead, there's no way to close it anymore. Using the dagger over here would be wasteful, so they just added there. The spot, okay. Yeah, I think it is because there was still this splitter in the deck to use over here. Yellow is thinking about this move with 2 minutes 30 on their clock. Why? Oh, 2 splitters even, and blue gets both. Terrible news for yellow, because they definitely need to close this one. It would be worth 7 points for them, and they are right now at -10. Guessing blue will take this city and not meepling the field, with only 1 cap left in the deck. No, 2. Dagger and 1 vanilla. It's definitely the better option. So yellow again wasting time. Maybe they are actually playing on a mobile device. I can't recommend this. So -3 because of these 7 points. Bad news for yellow is that there are no more. Just one more. There's just one more city cap available, though they won't be able to add more cities to any of their fields. So this field will be stuck at 9 points, and the bottom one will be stuck at 15. And blue takes 4 points while also threatening to tie the ruin. Tough spot for yellow. If blue had no meeples in hand, yellow might even be able to attack this again and then connect, add something, and eke out a win somehow. But they don't have anything to do that, so they just protect this. Blue takes another 4 points and I guess puts this game to bed. At 11 points, there's nothing yellow can do. There's no way to extend the ruin. There is no way to pad their fields. The only interesting features are this ruin and the 6-point field, and then they even get the Dorito, which doesn't allow them to extend this ruin. But even if they were able to, this wouldn't really help. Oh, I neglected this 6-point road, which could be taken with the last remaining curve by anyone, but that's still not enough to close the gap. So if I'm sounding a bit underwhelmed, it is because I'm underwhelmed. I would have expected more, and I didn't see that one here. But even that, would that help? No, it wouldn't. 4 points deducted from blue, added to yellow. That's exactly the difference. +1 would be +1 yellow, but then blue would be able to, for example, snatch this one over here with the quadruple city, or with the curve, this field, or rather this 6-point, then 7-point road. Yeah. Yeah. Let me feature this one in an instant, Sergey. So Alvis moves on to the semifinals, and Sergey says that Taiwan has an interesting format for pairing players in the playoffs, and they absolutely do. Let me quickly. Nope, wrong. Nationals. So we had the group stage, and there we have it. Group B, 06, 07, and Alvis1112 in second and third place. So this means they met already, and back then 06, 07 was able to beat Alvis. And also we have Stephen Chung, Taiwan, and Angus in place 1 and 4. And if we look at the playoffs, here we are. 06, 07 versus Alvis and Stephen Chung versus Angus. So usually one would use this way, pairing the groups crosswise. I don't get why they did it the way they did, but I hope for all folks that they change this next year, because I wouldn't like to play the same folks twice, and I'm not sure about their seeding rules, but in some cases this might even be unfair, because one group would be the better one or the worse one, and then folks would just be out of the tournament because they'd hit the tougher group, and with it the tougher quarterfinals, and that's definitely not my style. So let's check. Looks like BCGG has some problems. Well, oh, here we go. And let's reorder by time. As I said, later on 7 p.m. my time, that's 17 UTC. It's Pavel Brin versus Smile. And then there's a bunch of other games in the coming days. Over here, you can already see that I intend to cover at least some of them. So basically, if it's any sort of playoffs or if the game is a 5-star rated one, it's usually of interest to me. And again, if you be interested in co-hosting, just let me know. Contact me on BGA, YouTube, somewhere else, whatever works for you. Discord. Okay. So I guess see you later tonight, tomorrow, someday.